I've had epilepsy for a few years now. Go through having some seizures every now and then. Found I lost part of my vision, lots of medical difficulties.
Chris has always been a fighter. He was born with birth defects that he had to have multiple reconstructive surgeries for. And his childhood's been ruled mostly by doctor's visits and surgeries and hospitalizations. And he started having grand mal seizures back to back.
I was at school, it was during lunch, kind of felt tired, so I told my friend I was going to take a nap. And I laid my head down, went to sleep, and died.
When I pulled up in front of the school, they were still actively doing CPR on Chris as they were loading him into the squad.
I went into respiratory and cardiac arrest, and after a 7-hour coma, woke up in the hospital.
Nobody could really give us answers to what happened, so we were sent home on medication to help him regulate his seizures, but with no answers. Chris was scared. He was afraid to leave the house, afraid to be alone in a room. Basically, he stopped living.
We decided that it would be best to get a service dog, so we found Bronx. Bronx looked at me so excited, like we were long lost friends and we were just reuniting for the first time in years.
From day one, the day this dog arrived, the child's life has never been the same. He just went from being scared and sad and wanting to stay in the house to wanting to go outside and be a kid and do things again.
For a while, I wasn't able to sleep in my room by myself.
He would sleep with me, and I would sleep with my hand on his chest because he was afraid he would die in his sleep and nobody would know. The very first night that Bronx walked into this house, Chris slept in his bedroom, and he hasn't been afraid ever since.
Bronx is trained to do trailing if I was to get lost, some water rescue, a little bit of guide work, seizure alert for me.
Bronx has given us between 5 and 15 minutes warning that Chris is going to have a seizure, and he'll keep whining and pacing until somebody pays attention.
When Bronx is there, I'm not as afraid to do stuff.
He plays piano, he goes swimming, he goes to the beach, he goes to youth group, he takes self-defense class.
I learned how to defend myself with my sight cane.
He's very active with canine training, mentoring with the police department in being a canine handler, and all of this is possible because he has Bronx.
Bronx is a hero because before I had him, all of my medical problems, it really kind of took my childhood away, and it just made me fearful. When he came into my life, he gave that all back to me.
To me, Bronx is a hero because he gave my son his life back. He took this very scared, fragile child and made him into a confident teenager.
Whatever I do in my life in the future, I just want to have Bronx next to me the entire time.